with Jess. So we have some breaking news in the Dylan Rounds case. James Brenner, 59 years old, has been officially charged, with one count of aggravated murder and one count of abuse or desecration of a human body. According to the Utah court records, charges were filed Friday by the Box Elder County Attorney's Office in Brigham City, Utah. Brenner has always been the number one and the only suspect in this case. I'm just really happy to see charges finally being brought. It's a little confusing, I guess, as to what was said in this, because it said on Dylan's phone. Hang on, let me read this just so I get it right. But on Dylan's phone, they found, hang on. It says a digital forensic download of the phone was conducted and led to the discovery of a time-lapse video with a timestamp taken at the time of the victim's disappearance. The video showed defendant James Brenner with blood stains on his arms and shirt, and he is cleaning a gun. Hi, Tamara. The shirt which defendant is wearing in the video was analyzed, and the victim's DNA was found on the shirt. It says, according to a probable cause statement and charging documents, during search efforts to locate Rounds, deputies discovered a pair of boots belonging to the victim nearby, and that one boot had a blood stain that DNA analysis confirmed belonged to the victim, in addition to DNA belonging to the defendant. Okay. The victim's phone records were obtained by investigators, showed movements of the day of his disappearance on a remote property in Lucin, where a defendant was squatting. Phone data showed that the last signal from the victim's phone was at the Lucin pond, and a search of the pond led to the discovery of the victim's phone. According to... Oh, wait. I just read that. Yeah, so apparently this was on Dylan's phone? Or I don't... The way it reads... Maybe it was Brenner's phone. I'm not quite sure. The way it reads is kind of a little weird. But either way, they have video of Brenner cleaning a gun with blood stains on his arms and his shirt. It's incredibly sad, because I know that there were a lot of people that were just still sort of holding out hope that Dylan was still alive. I accepted quite a long time ago, really, that was probably not the case. Candace Cooley did have a statement for people. She said, Justin and I would like to thank everyone for the support you have shown us as we focus on finding answers in the disappearance of Dylan. That's what she told East Idaho News. She said James Brenner has been listed as the official suspect since July 2022. The charges are based on solid evidence that has been released by Box Elder. We ask you to continue your thoughts and prayers for justice for Dylan, and that we can bring him home. I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, hope that they can bring Dylan home in some capacity. But with him being charged with desecration, of a body, of a corpse, desecration, if you guys don't know, I'm just going to read out what that means. Desecration of a human corpse means any act committed after the death of a human being, including but not limited to dismemberment, disfigurement, mutilation, burning, or any act committed to cause the dead body to be devoured, scattered, or dissipated. Okay, so this is a little graphic, but we are talking true crime here. He obviously mutilated his body in some way. I don't know if he completely dismembered him, scattered him, hoping that, whatever animals out there, it's been so long, but, I remember looking up what type of animals were out there, because we kind of had a little scare back last summer, with an anonymous person that had found something, but it turned out not to be Dylan. But there's like hawks and stuff out there. So if he dismembered him, hoping that, the birds would take him away, literally, or, just sort of scattered him for human nature to take its course. That was always my biggest fear, was that he just sort of put him out in the open and let the elements do the work. But very much looks like he obviously dismembered him, or, something along those lines. It's him being found, I feel, is just unlikely. But it doesn't mean it can't happen. The weirdest things happen sometimes. So this case has always haunted me. I've always wanted to see resolution in this case. And I'm hoping that we do. I'm sincerely hoping that we do. I think they are going to convict Brenner. I don't think he's getting out of this. The thing that being that now that they have filed these charges and talked about him being bloody and bloody shirt, the thing that I knew about that I had never said before was that I was aware that a bloody towel was found, with Dylan's blood on it, and this was found within Brenner's possession, whether it was in that trailer or not. The breaking news, Holly, is that James Brenner has been officially charged with Dylan Rounds' death. This happened on Friday. I think with everyone, all eyes on the Murdaugh case, we kind of missed this, or at least I did. And somebody in my Discord group, thank you, Crazy for a Bass Player, for bringing this up. But yes, and he's been charged with like the desecration of a human corpse, which is what I was just talking about. So there's video. There's video of Brenner cleaning a gun with blood on his arms and his shirt that they found on, I don't know if it's Dylan's phone or Brenner's phone. Like the way it reads is a little weird. So I'm not sure if they found this video on Dylan's phone or Brenner's phone, but it was one of them. I'm not sure, like, if it was Dylan's phone that this video was found on, if Brenner was filming himself, if he accidentally was filming himself. I mean, because we were sort of talking about this in my Discord group, if it was a third, if someone else was recording that video of him cleaning the gun with blood all over his hands or arms and shirt, that third party would I would assume be charged as well, because you obviously know what he did. But yeah, he that aggravated murder and desecration of a corpse. Yeah, Tamara is saying seen Dylan's phone. Yeah, the way it reads like it was off of Dylan's phone, and it kind of reminded me, I don't know if you guys remember the Jodi Arias trial, where she was big on taking pictures and stuff. And she was taking pictures of her murder victim, Travis, which was her ex-boyfriend. But when she began to murder him, she dropped the camera. But the camera started taking pictures kind of on its own. And sort of really took photographs of his murder. So I don't know if Brenner is weird enough to have videoed himself on Dylan's phone cleaning the gun that obviously killed him, Um, or if it was accidental. I don't really know. It's kind of like with the Murdoch case. What happened? A Snapchat video, in my opinion, is what truly hung Alec Murdoch. 50 seconds. And it blew his whole alibi out of the water. Rob H., I thought they found Dylan's phone in the pond, or was that his wallet? No, they found his phone in the pond. Yes. But what they were able to do, I was talking about this really early in the case. They were able to clone Dylan's phone onto another phone, so they could see like everything that was on Dylan's phone. So that's why I'm kind of confused that the charges are just now coming. We're just now hearing about this. I don't know. It's really kind of strange. But let me just read it again so we can see. It says the victim's phone records were obtained by investigators, quote, showed movements of the day of his disappearance on a remote property in Lucin where defendant was squatting. Phone data showed that the last signal, okay, no, that's just talking about the ponds. A digital forensic download of the phone was conducted and led to the, yeah, it was on Dylan's phone. Hi, Mohan. Holly, this is huge. Thank you for the update. I'm shook. Me too, Holly. I was not going to go live, and I was like, no, I'm not going to go live. And then I was like, you know what? This case has haunted me from day one. Like, I just cannot not go live and talk about this. That finally, Brenner has been officially charged with Dylan's murder, and it's a big deal. This case I think it will always make me really sad. They're calling Dylan a 20-year-old young man, but I'm going to forever refer to him as a 19-year-old young man because his life was taken and ended at 19 years old. We all got to see his 20th birthday, but he did not. Holly, I'm so glad you did. Yeah, me too. I kind of feel sad and then happy at the same time talking about it. I can't wait for this trial. I hope that this a-hole goes to jail forever. I mean, Brenner just is a disgusting human being. How do you just snuff out the life of a 19-year-old? I mean, but that's what he did. Let me go ahead and read an article for you guys from the East Idaho News. I already read that. Dylan's mom is saying that Dylan's body has not been found, but they remain optimistic he will be recovered soon. Huh. That kind of leads me to believe that they may be close to finding him. They're optimistic he will be recovered soon. I don't know if the parents are just still being optimistic, which they should be. Never give up. Never give up. But if he dismembered him and scattered him about, it's just going to be so incredibly difficult. Carrie, what great news. Justice for Dylan. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Kara. When this trial goes down, I am definitely going to be covering it. This case has just always haunted me. I've talked about it a million times before. He went missing on my birthday, and it just always has haunted me that I had such a great birthday, and meanwhile, on the other side of the country, a young 19-year-old man was losing his life that day. By the hands of a 59-year-old psycho. I mean, but just who videos themselves? Or how did that happen? I need to know. Did Brenner deliberately video himself from Dylan's phone, cleaning the gun and stuff, and then threw it in the pond? Like, there's no way did he do that? Because Brenner just strikes me as a very unintelligent person. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. Is he stupid enough to do something like that? Yeah, I would say so. But just what was the point of that? It sounds like really sadistic. I'm going to film myself cleaning the gun with his blood all over me. Then I'm going to go toss his gun in the loosened ponds. I mean, I don't know. I'm wondering if Dylan's phone pulled up Paul Murdoch and, is going to solve his case for him and see justice for him. Yeah, he's definitely not the sharpest tool in the shed, Holly. That's for sure. James Brenner, a very strange looking man. And that's me being nice. I don't know. I'm not really sure what else to say after this. James Brenner remains in the Box Elder County Jail. He's still there. And he's been there. I mean, you guys know that he's been there since last summer. So, I was wondering, like, what are they waiting on? I mean, surely you're keeping him in jail for a reason. You're not letting him go for a reason. You want this resolved first before you want him to face the firearm charges. So, it was always like, what are they waiting for? And I don't know. I guess it just took some time. Christy, hello, Jess. Finally, he was charged. Yes, I know. Yay, right? My heart breaks for Justin, Candace, and family. Prayers, Justice for Dylan. Yes, exactly. His family has been through a lot. A lot. They've been persecuted online. They've been shown a lot of love online. It's just, I would never want to be in their shoes. It's, again, I maybe this is bittersweet for them as well. Because that's just that's the overall feeling I feel from this, just bittersweet. Like, it's about time. And then also it's just really confirmation that Dylan is absolutely deceased. Which, again, I don't think a lot of people thought he was still alive, but there are some people that definitely were still holding out hope, just a maybe. But with these charges and with the revelation that there is a video of Brenner, that evidence is just pretty damning. I think the one thing that really surprises me is that no one else has been charged in this murder. It's because I always thought Brenner didn't act alone, but according to the state and to, the FBI and all of the law enforcement, he's the only one charged. So whoever knew what, obviously they didn't want to charge that person. It's just Brenner. So Holly's saying, I hope this brings them some peace and the capacity to actually mourn their loss. Yeah, I know. Because, when a family, what I've noticed just watching these cases, it seems like when the family is like in the mode of, trying to find the killer and trying to bring justice, kind of like the Gonzalez family. They were so focused on finding the killer. And then once you do, and once they're charged, and even after the trial, I guess there's a relief that this person is brought to justice, but the loved one never comes back, and so it's just very bittersweet. Hi, Squirrel. Squirrel Sandwich is saying, so odd that he's the only one charged so far. That's what I'm saying. But the state knows more than we do. They have more evidence. They know what's going on. So you just have to trust in the fact that they're charging the right person, and there's no one they're leaving out, really. Even though Don Hately, I have to say, when the feds got to come knocking on your door multiple times for you to give them the right damn gun, I feel like you were hiding something. But then again, I have talked to people from Lucin that said that, he did a 180, and he was friends with James Brenner, and then now he hates him, supposedly. But I don't. It's a little weird. Squirrel Sandwich. Did they find solid evidence or recover his body? They did not recover his body yet, Squirrel. Candace Cooley put out a statement to East Idaho News, and she said that they were optimistic that he would be recovered soon. But who else do peeps suspect? Myself personally, Al, definitely Don Haley. He's always been very high on my list, just because of his closeness to James Brenner. He attempted to bail James Brenner out, all kinds of things. And then you have Kurt. Kurt was awfully close to all of these people. But I think Kurt's done enough talking to last a lifetime. And I think that if the FBI or, Box Outer really thought that he was involved, he would be arrested along with Brenner, but he hasn't been. So again, we have to go with what they are presenting us. And that is that James Brenner did this and acted alone. Squirrel Sandwich. Hopefully he is recovered so they can have a proper burial. Yeah, I've always wanted that for Dylan. Just, I don't think he should be scattered out in that awful desert somewhere. He needs to be in some place where at least the people that loved him can come and sit down and have a chat. I don't go to my dad's grave often, but when I do, I just talk my head off like I'm doing now, and just always kind of leave there feeling a little better. But Dylan's story is just always going to be a tragic one for me. I hope that James Brenner will give some sort of insight one day about why he did this to Dylan, what exactly took place, how it exactly happened. At this point, in my opinion, I do feel that Brenner literally just snapped and killed him. I think that would account for him crying when Candace and Justin came that weekend. He was already showing remorse, and then he also tried to reach out to the family themselves after being in jail for months. He tried to reach out to Dylan's family without lawyers, without anything, to talk to them. And I almost wanted to bash my head on the wall because they kind of flipped out on him. So he just said fine and hung up, like we could do this through lawyers. And I always just felt like, there was your opportunity to get it out of him. But I can't be angry at anybody for doing that. I mean, it would be really hard when the guy that you strongly suspect murdered your son is just trying to have a conversation with you. I don't think they were ready for that. Hi, Nance. Let's see. Squirrel Sam, was confession or someone squealed? No confession, and no one squealed. They found on Dylan's phone, James Brenner cleaned a video of James Brenner cleaning a gun with blood on his arms and shirt. When they tested that shirt, the DNA was Dylan's. Nance, Jess, I've missed you. I've missed you. I've missed you, Nance. You met Nance here. Allie, don't bully anyone in the chat. I'm kidding. Allie doesn't bully anyone. I'm joking. But anyway, at least Box Elder County pulled their heads out of their butts and, started doing their job. But I think that is a testament to not only Dylan's family putting pressure on them, but also the general public doing the same. Like, we're not just going to accept that you're not really doing anything to find Dylan Rounds, and I remember calling them. I didn't tell anybody I was calling them, but I just called them to ask about the investigation, to let them know there were people out in the world that want to know what happened to Dylan Rounds. And I seen Justin Rounds, put on his Facebook one day, and this was months ago, but he said, thank you to everyone that has called Box Elder. And so I was like, oh, there's more people, not just me, calling and just inquiring about the case. I wasn't pulling a bullhorn Betty. I wasn't doing anything like that. Nothing against her, but I was just kind of wanting to let them know that, yeah, we're still out here wondering. We haven't forgot about him. I always knew, just kind of from the moment that I read about Dylan's case, that it was going to be something to me. And it always has been. I don't know why. I just have like this deep sadness right now. I think I'm feeling so sad about it because finding out that he most likely dismembered Dylan really upsets me. Um, the desecration of someone's body is so personal and disgusting, and you're just making it to where the body will never be intact again. I don't know. I just feel like it's just such a violation. Um, that if that's the case, that he was dismembered, which I'm going to strongly suspect something of that nature. With what he's charged with. It's just you just know that his body's never going to be in one piece. That if they do find him, they're going to find pieces, so to speak. It is sad. It's heavy. Yeah, it is really heavy. Al, it really is. Um. Oh, I love those sunflowers, Holly. Yep. Yeah, I feel the sadness, like you said, bittersweet. And as we all know, the sunflower, Dylan really likes sunflowers. So just, this is bringing up like all my old feelings with this case and just how aggravating it was, you know, listening to all of the things and not being able to say stuff. And God, after this trial, I would love to just um read my notes out to you guys. You guys are gonna be like, holy shit, what the hell? And I'll be like, yeah, that's what I was dealing with. Hang on a second. Hang on. Sorry, that was my detective friend. I had sent him an email, and he gave me a call back, because this is just kind of a this has been a case that him and I have talked about since June of last year, and have just gone over so many things. And he just reminded me of, there was this blue barrel that was like out of place, and it was like new, and it was like out of place. And he goes, "Remember that blue barrel?" He goes, I wonder if his body could have possibly been put in there. And I said, that's a good point. I really don't know. Um, moment of silence. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, Black Dove. I don't know where Black Dove is. I haven't seen him in a long while, Holly. Um, if you guys do see him, definitely tell him I said hello, and I would like to talk to him. I think I'm actually, it's funny you bring him up, because I'm kind of thinking about him myself, and how sad he's most likely going to be at this news. Again, bittersweet, happy and sad, but Dove was one of the people that really, really wanted Dylan to be alive. And I had kind of told Dove several times, really, or more, that it was just unlikely. And he still held out hope for that. uh yeah, he was very hopeful. I mean, when we would speak, just privately, him and I, he would listen, he would hear me out, of and I would just tell him, like, Dove, it's very unlikely that he is alive. you know is it completely impossible? No, it's not impossible, but it's very unlikely. And he would listen, but he just still always held out hope. And I understand, people have big hearts, and he was someone that was so new to true crime. Dylan's case was the first case that he, I think, had ever had really any interest in. And there was a personal reason behind that. But he did, and the gay thing is not it. So I don't want anybody saying that wasn't why. But happens to us all when we're new. Yeah. I like the cases that I read when I was younger. Shanda Share, that case will always stay with me. Because it's just so striking, and you just feel like, how on earth could someone do this to another human being? But after, I guess, you kind of get desensitized when you've watched enough true crime and seen enough true crime, you kind of, yeah, you get desensitized, and you know how these things go. And Jerry, what is the news, please? Just got here. Hi, Jer. I will repeat it for you. James Brenner has officially been charged with Dylan Rounds' murder. He's been charged with one count of aggravated murder and one count of desecration of a corpse. There was a video that was found on Dylan's phone, I believe, of James cleaning a gun with blood on his arms and on his shirt. The shirt was tested. The DNA was Dylan's. So that is the news. You are welcome. Now we're just kind of discussing back and forth. I'm not really sure what else to say. It kind of feels, I mean, even though we haven't been to trial, it's just such a big deal finally having him be officially charged with it, them confirming, that Dylan is definitely dead. And again, most likely dismembered or burned. That's a possibility as well, even though I don't believe he was burned. He could have been. I just don't think so. I think he was, judging that he had blood all over his arms and his shirt. I'm going to just assume that he cut Dylan up, dismembered him. I love jazz. Glad you're here, Jerry. Well, I'm glad you love me, Al. What was that, Squirrel? Let me see. I just seen Squirrel had a comment. Where was all of the blood evidence? Well, I guess he washed it off, of himself. I mean, I don't know where he would have done this at, where he would have dismembered him at. That's a good question. Because, yeah, that is a good question. I don't know. We don't know all the details. Obviously, with him being charged, we're going to trial whenever that is going to be. And you guys know that's when we hear all of the details of what was found, where it was found, all of that gory stuff comes out in trial. If it's not leaked prior to this trial. But Holly is saying, I wonder if this is why they kept pushing JB's court date back. Oh, it is. Yeah, they kept saying, because I sat in on one of his court dates, and they just made it very clear that they wanted the gun charges, the federal gun charges, dealt with first. Wait, I'm confusing myself at this point. I'm sorry. Let me get my head back into this. Yes, I know that's why they kept pushing his court dates back. I'm just trying to think of why. But that is why. I'm trying to think about how to explain it. They were basically keeping him in jail. I think they were waiting to get whatever smoking gun they could get. Obviously, they feel that they have enough to go forward with now because they're officially charging him, which starts the clock when it comes to, a trial. So, and that was always something that I said, if they don't have enough evidence yet, if they, no reason to charge Brenner, it just starts a clock. With these official charges, clock has started. So I don't know how far out we're from a trial. I would like to think that this trial is not going to be something like a year out or anything like that. I didn't see anything where they were saying like when the trial would be. But I feel like I don't feel like we're going to be waiting like a year or two for this trial or anything. Grandma, apparently Brenner filmed it on Dylan's phone. Apparently. I mean, which is, I don't know. It like I said, it just sounds really sadistic if he filmed himself doing that. What if the phone, what if because he had Dylan's phone. And the last place Dylan's phone pinged was Lucen Pond. And that's where they found it. And I guess it kind of showed where his phone was going throughout that day. And the last place it pinged was there. And of course, that's where they found his phone. But they were able, I remember, the family being able to digitally like clone his phone to another phone. So they could see everything that was on Dylan's phone. But somehow they found this time-lapsed video of James. So I'm just kind of, did they not see this at first? Was it not found somehow? I don't know. Was it deleted? I don't know. I have a lot of questions. Like the more we're talking about this, because I kind of went live pretty shortly after I found out that he had been charged. So now that I'm kind of talking it out with you guys, I'm like, what did he do? Because if somebody else was filming him doing this, well, I would suppose that person would be charged as well because they knew that he dismembered and killed Dylan. But nobody else has been charged or anything, just him. So, I mean, I don't know if they've released any kind of statement or anything, but it doesn't seem like they're gonna be arresting or charging anyone else. Holly, more info, more questions. Exactly. Allie, how would he film himself? Yeah, I don't know, Al. Like, what do you think? He like propped a phone up and was like filming himself being a total creep about it, or I feel like there was something where he like accidentally hit the camera button or something. And what if he was just like caught on film like doing that? You know, like Jodi Arias. I don't know. I'm really interested to find out how and why. Yeah, Squirrel Shamus. That they've had that phone for quite a while. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. And it does take time. I mean, I know it does take time to go through because you got to get warrants for everything. You got to get warrants for a lot of stuff to, get all the forensic data off of someone's phone. So it does take a minute. I mean, it hasn't been a full year since Dylan went missing. So, I guess we really can't be too tough on Box Elder for bringing these charges without it being even a full year. I mean, look at Summer Wells. We're going on 2 years with her and no charges for anyone. So for it to be under a year and they've laid charges on him, that's pretty quick, I would say. I mean, honestly, when I was covering this case all the time, when it was early and new and even not new, I was still talking about this case. It felt like forever. I can't even imagine what it felt like to the people that loved him. Holly is saying some iPhones let you access the camera while the phone is still locked. Could be accidental recording. Yeah, Androids, you can do that. That happens as well. So that's what I'm saying. It wasn't an accidental recording. I don't know. I don't. If I had to guess, I don't think that Brenner like purposely videoed himself. I feel like it was a fluke. I mean, look at phones just getting everybody hemmed up. I love it. I love it. People that think they're going to like, commit some murder and just get away with it, they always forget about tech. Tech's been hanging people left and right. Brian Koberger going down. I mean, they do have the DNA with him, but they also, the first thing, what led them on a hunt for, who they found out was Brian Koberger was tech. It was the video of the car. You have Alex Murdoch over here yesterday being sentenced to 2 life sentences, and the jurors, I think one of the jurors has spoke out already. I don't know if others have, but they go back to that kennel video, back to that Snapchat. That blew that guy's alibi completely out of the water. Oh, I was never at the kennels. Yes, you were. There's a whole Snapchat video of it. And you're in the background yelling, Bubba. And then we have James Brenner. And what are they citing? Forensic data, which is phone data. So, I mean, yeah, if you think that you're just going to go out there and commit the perfect murder, unfortunately, unless your name is Barry Morphew, you're probably not going to get away with it. What DNA did they link back to BK? Oh, yeah, the one on the knife sheath. There was a single strand. Remember? On the button of the sheath that he left behind. Besides the sheath, well, I mean, if that's not the smoking gun, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've been really invested in the Murdoch trial, Squirrel. So I haven't been paying too much attention to, like, I've seen some headlines with the Idaho 4 case, but Allie, grr, don't get me started on Burry. Yeah, I know. But I don't know besides the sheath, if anything, but I think the sheath is proficient enough when it is laying next to the victim's body and belongs to the knife that killed them with his DNA on it. I'm glad if I'm a juror and you present that evidence alone to me, I'm going to be very, very much side-eyeing the hell out of Brian Koberger, and it wouldn't take a lot more evidence for me to convict. So, you would, Squirrel was saying, you would think there would be so much more. There probably is, and we don't know about it. Yeah, I saw that, Grandma. I think Plunder. I think it was Plunder, and I know there's been others that have put out the list of items that were taken from Koberger's apartment. And I seen the number. The first thing was knife. I did see that. I remembered that. But we got to get back to Dylan, because we're kind of going into the Idaho 4 case, and that's not this stream. But I mean, we can, go off and talk about other little cases here and there, because I tend to do that sometimes. A lot of these cases, there's parallels to them. One parallel that I just keep finding over and over and over and over and over again with these cases is that somehow, some way, drugs always seem to be involved. And I don't think that Dylan's case was probably any different. I really wonder about Brenner's drug intake. Was he doing meth? Was he doing meth with Chase, perhaps? Meth is big out there. Is that why he, did he snap? I know he was a heavy drinker. Was he also a heavy meth user? And I don't know the answer to that about Brenner. I believe so. But it would really account for Brenner snapping and, then doing something so gruesome, like, mutilating a body, cutting a body, dismembering a body. That's a lot of work. Listen, it is. It's tedious. You don't just like all willy-nilly just chop up a body. I mean, it's so disgusting to even think about. Think, at any point, if you're a human being and you're dismembering another human being, like, it's in that you lose any humanity you ever had. Because you cannot have emotions of a normal kind. I don't know what that means, but you guys know what I mean, I think. Am I pulling an Alec Ock right now? Like, you know what I mean. But I just don't think you can, a real person, and do that to another human being. It would just be, I just don't think you would have any humanity. Jerry, I couldn't butcher an animal. Exactly. Let alone a human. Like, con. Grandma, here, hire me. Brenner. Yeah, exactly. To Don Haley. And Don Haley's like, okay, sure, I'll hide your guns for you. And then the feds are like, hey, you have some guns for that guy? Yeah, just these 3. You gotta come back. Like, hey, there's a gun that you give us the gun. He's like, oh, okay, here's the other gun. I mean, I don't know. Don Haley's never going to sit right with my soul. I don't know what possessed this man to do what he did. Dylan's gone. He's missing. And here's Brenner over here asking you to hide guns. And you're... It just... Come on. Becky is saying that, I could an animal, but a human to eat to survive. Yeah, I mean, listen, if it's life or death, I'm out in the wilderness, and I need to eat a squirrel, I'm to do that. I am going to do that. But, if it's me and another human, I'm just going to have to die, because I'm not going to do that. Oh, is my internet being choppy? Because I'm showing full lines. Here, let me, drugs make people into monsters. Yes, they do, Jerry. Yes, they do. Grandma, can you hear me better? Am I still being choppy or no? Oh, damn it. Okay, hold on. Okay, hopefully this is better. Hopefully. Anyway, let me see the chat. All you guys, damn it. Oh, there they are. Okay, yes. Let's see. Alexia? Does that say your name? I like that. Alexia Lee. That's really nice. It says, just like the Snapchat video in the Murdoch case, we don't know why, but Ford was looking out for Dylan and Paul that day. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know, that little 50-second, not even a full minute, completely dismantled Alex's giant lie to everyone. And in my opinion, that video is what really got him caught. And it's choppy again. And I have the booster plugged in right here. Is it still showing choppy? Because it's been showing me full bars. Like it's not showing me that it's being choppy. Like usually I can tell if it is because it'll show me red bars, but it's not. It's just showing me green. Let's see, Jerry. I think it should sound better for you guys now. I think. Is it still choppy, Al? All right, one more time. Hang on. Again, hopefully that's better. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but so Jerry was saying, I'd really rather them see no end in sight and live long and miserable and scared. Yes, I agree with that. I mean, you know, I'm all for the death penalty. I really am, because I'm just like, I choose. Yo, you killed someone? Eye for an eye, sucker. You know, that's me. But I think it would honestly be much more torturous for a person to be in jail the rest of their life, to know they're never stepping foot outside of that facility as a free person ever again. And they know exactly why they're there. They wake up day realizing where they're at and why, and that has to be torturous. So it's better. It just clicks and there's a silent patch. Oh, okay. It goes back to normal. Okay, that's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Jerry's saying they built the defense on Alex's lie about the timeline. Then mid-trial, he's busted dead to rights, and the line had no defense. I know. Yep. And I'm just wondering if it's the same thing, you know, here with Brenner and Dylan. Again, like Holly was saying, you know, iPhones can, you know, record, and the camera can be accessed without the phone being unlocked. It is the same thing with Androids as well, like I was saying. So did he accidentally, you know, while toting this gun around, and these phones, did he set them down? Did he accidentally record it? Or did he, if he did it on purpose, if he purposely recorded that, holy Christ, death penalty. I want death penalty. But if it was an accidental, still disgusting, but it would just be, yeah, like something divine. This was meant to happen. Grandma is angry. Angry about Dylan's murder. Thank you. So Jerry is saying, if he did it on purpose, how stupid are you, dude? Yeah, I know. But see, then he, you know, he did throw the phone in the pond. And again, I don't think Brenner's, you know, the sharpest, the brightest crown in the box. So, you know, we do that as like kind of weird little, I don't know what the hell that is. And then go throw the phone in the pond and be like, well, you know, I threw it in the pond. It's going to be ruined. They're not going to be able to get anything off of it. He is older, you know, so, and he, you know, he's probably not the most tech savvy person. So did he do it on purpose? And then did he think that by throwing it in the pond that no one would ever be able to see? Little did they know you can clone entire phone to a new phone and see everything that was on that last phone. I mean, I just did that recently when I got a new phone. I got a new phone. I set it, I uploaded every single thing from my old phone to my new phone. Every contact, every picture, every video, every app, everything. It's easy to do. Hi, Jace. No, son. You cannot. You cannot be a part of this. This is not. This is not for kids. How are you on here? Jace, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to put you in timeout. You cannot. This is not a stream for you. Okay, I'm sorry. I just literally had to put my own kid in timeout. He's like, "Hey, mom, I'm over here talking about gruesome stuff. This is not." Well, that just kind of threw me off. Yeah. Hey, grandma. Grandma's like, "Jace, what is that about?" Um. Okay. I'm just. That really threw. Sorry. Allie. Oh, like in real life, he's probably used to it. Well, I don't go into these kind of details, Al. I'm not like, hey, he probably chopped his body up and that kind of thing. I don't, I don't talk about that kind of stuff. I mean, I do make them very aware of, I'm probably a little paranoid when it comes to harmful people because I follow so much true crime, and I do kind of tell my kids, like, you have to be vigilant and you have to da da da. But no, I don't have these kind of discussions. Oh, like time out. Yeah. That just really freaked me out when he was like, hey, mom. I'm like, what? Are you listening to this? No. Why are you even on here? And then I feel bad. Like I have to block my own kid. But this is not kid friendly. This is just not for kids. So that kind of sucked. But well, if he really wants to see what I'm doing, Holly, he can walk his little self right out to the garage and wave to me. He doesn't need to be on YouTube listening to this of all things. If you guys will just give me a second. I'm going to run in the house and just make sure, because I don't know. I'm a little upset that my kid was on the stream. And then now I'm just thinking like, well, what else is he watching like on YouTube? Just give me just a second. So just give me a second. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, Cole busted. He was like, I just wanted to say hi. Okay, well you said hi. So you can't be on this stream. What a day. What a day. So Holly is saying she's a good mom to make sure. Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? What are you doing? Oh, I just wanted to say hi. And I'm like, yeah, son, these streams are for adults. I wasn't really listening to what he said. He wasn't really listening to what I was saying, that he just wanted to say hi. So Oh my Lord. Okay, can we get back to the topic at hand, please? Does anyone have anything else to say about Dylan Rounds, his case, anything like that? Because we are at the hour mark. Kind of really shook me up with Jace being on here. Um, I know he's not now, but it's still just kind of weird for me. Either way, justice for Dylan. That's all I have to say. That's all I've ever wanted for him, his family, his friends, his loved ones. Um, you know, two people I would love to hear from, and I totally understand why they don't. But it would be his grandparents. You know, I think if anyone like truly loved Dylan, I think that it was his grandparents. Um, never they've never spoke publicly. Spoke, I trial if going to show up. That'd be really bittersweet. I would like to hear from them. Just I don't know why. Morbid curiosity, I guess, but I totally understand why they wouldn't want to be a part of this circus known as social media. AF. You know what? I think it's got to be the rain, Grandma, because the booster is plugged in and it's right beneath my feet. I'm looking at it, but it's been raining. It's been raining all day, so I'm thinking that's it. Because it just told me that I lost connection and then it was back up. But I'm going to go ahead and get off. We have been an hour. Uh, that is the news with Dylan. So we will see what happens from here on out. I do believe I got word that Gloria Dylan was going live. I don't know if she has extra information. So I'm going to head over to her channel and see what she's talking about. So I will see you guys later. Okay, bye.